Cutting itself back into our hearts, we have Demon Slayer. This was a 1-hour premiere and it was packed with comedic moments, new characters, and a ton of information. I was not expecting everything they threw at us here, so let's discuss this recent episode. We start with Tanjiro and company getting picked up and look at them in a huddle. That's adorable with Nezuko there in the middle. The leader of the Demon Slayer Corps, Kageya, is incredibly excited that one of the upper demon have finally been slain, as it's been a very long time. And he casually drops the Muzan as a stain on his family. Family drama just to start us off. Oh, this is gonna be a good one. Some cool animation of the Infinity Castle later. We're introduced to a lot of upper demons in this sequence. First up is upper 5, Hyoko, who has 2 mouths and around 10 little hands and 2 eyes and comes out of a pot. This is truly peak character design. Gross, but interesting. It's like a genie went, yeah, just mess me up. Up next is upper 4, Hantagu, who looks incredibly shy and is already correcting people. Damn, they really said take a stereotypical nerd and make him a demon. Then we have the Biwa woman, Nakime, and we have one of the coolest introductions as we see upper 2, Doma. Now we have the stereotypical player and the one that's way too handsy of the group. We truly do have it all, as the upper 3 is the leave me alone type, as he immediately resorts to violence against the upper 2. Then finally is upper 1, and this looks very familiar. That hair we have seen countless times, but there's no earrings. This is when I knew this episode was goated. We have seen all the upper ranks, and upper 1 looks like the person we have been believing is Tanjiro's father. We are eating well this season. Then of course Muzan shows up, as we have seen everyone in the ladder. Apparently he knew Gyutaro would die since Daki was weak, but he is still pissed. So pissed he calls them useless. Hey, one of them just killed their favorite Hashira, so you got that going for you at least. Muzan wants Kaguya dead. Oh, look at that, he wants you dead as well. So Muzan lashes out, breaking his entire chemistry lab. Walter White would be ashamed, and Hyoko just had to talk. He had information, and Muzan has the fastest head snatch of all time. Unhappy with unverified information, but he commands Hyoko to go with Hantegu, or upper 4, Shy Boy here, once it's confirmed. A quick disagreement, as upper 2 is of course the touchy one, so he wants information, but upper 3 has a stick up their ass, so upper 1 has to step in so the hierarchy doesn't get interrupted. It's like a child's playground, but with demons. Upper 2 isn't too stressed, as we have a clap back with a smile, exclaiming that Mr. 3 over here can't beat them, as upper 2 became a demon before them and still rose up the ranks faster, even calling him a subordinate, which is technically true. Alright, I understand why upper 3 keeps choosing violence. I want to knock their head off as well. We get a glimpse of R1's face. Oh yeah, the markings look familiar, but geez, they will see anything in the world, more eyes than arms. Such a cool reveal, as now we have seen all the faces of the upper 5 with some interesting designs. Upper 1 is the only one with a sword, and upper 2 and 3 are the most human looking. Look at poor upper 4 moving with their head hands. As they request, they moved with Hantegu to get away from upper 2. As upper 2 is moved and it turns out they have disciples, wow, that must be the world's messed up cult. An insane meeting of the demons, so much new information and designs, but the train doesn't stop here. As now you may think Tanjiro's dad was a demon. What happened? Well, we see little baby Tanjiro being held by someone that looks just like him, but his actual dad comes out and he looks exactly like Tanjiro. I guess Tanjiro looks like him. Well, this guy that looks like the upper 1 here looks pretty good. When the 6 eyes become 2, the face really looks less demonic, as we get a beautiful transition of Tanjiro's dad looking at him to Tanjiro waking up crying. This is really good, as we can see Tanjiro and his dad's kindness, as both would feel sad that someone would consider themselves useless. Tanjiro wakes up and everyone comes in to say hello, as he's been in a coma for 2 months. We have our usual hitters, Aoi, Kanao, and Kiyo, Sumi, and Naho. It's been a minute since we have all of them together, but it's such a nice wholesome moment. Inosuke has been awake for 7 days as they drop from the ceiling. How long were they up there? Either Inosuke lived their life clinging to the ceiling or managed to sneak there in the commotion. Also, in how many 7 days did no one notice Inosuke was up, since Aoi talked like Inosuke was dead. But then she explains poisoning the medicines have little effect on Inosuke, which at that point, why would you mislead Tanjiro like that? She knew what she was doing. Inosuke goes out on a job, Zenitsu's already on a job, and Tanjiro trains to get back in shape because he got destroyed. As he is thinking of a sword, he looks at this. Haganzeku sent him the most threatening messages since he's tired of his swords being mistreated. I can't blame him, it's been a lot, but Tanjiro has been out here working, and it didn't snap this time. But I guess when you have something precious, you don't want it damaged in any way. But that also leads us into the next arc, which so happens to be the SwordSmith arc. There's a whole complex strategy to get there so that it's not attacked, but even with this whole complexity, I think it's almost certain the village is gonna get attacked at some point. We meet with the village leaders and look at these masks, they're just amazing. They don't blame Tanjiro at all for the sword, instead they blame Hotaru for making a faulty sword. Now that's unfair, the sword seemed fine, but you know sometimes the user needs to be stronger. Well, this all but guarantees Tanjiro will have a new sword, whether it's the original creator or not, since they said they will get someone else to make it if Hotaru won't, so at least there's that. Tanjiro, the ultimate Sigma, covers up Shinobu as her goods are popping out. Food turns her sadness to happiness, and Tanjiro continues on his way. Food will really have that effect on anyone. We see the cause of Shinobu's sadness, and that was Genya, who ignored her. Wow, it's been a minute since we've seen him, and he still looks rough. Even rougher now, almost as rough as he treats Tanjiro. Dang, did him dirty. Well, that's enough of him, as Tanjiro and Shinobu talk as Shinobu plays with Nezuko. Nezuko's so cute, just look at this. We also find out Shinobu wants a strong man, so she wanted a Hashira, but meeting Hashira is rare, so she decided to increase her chances by becoming one. If that's not the biggest play, I don't know what is. She said I'll do it myself. Not the best motivation for being a Hashira, but it got her there. She leaves dropping information that there's something in the village to make you stronger, which sounds ominous, but I'm interested. So of course Tanjiro goes to look for it and sees Tokito along with another familiar sight. Looks just like Upper One and the man Tanjiro saw in his dream, but look, he has the earrings on. Will it be a human, a demon? We shall find out next week. What did you think of the episode? It was a lot of setup, and the setup was great. We got so much information in this last hour, whether it be the Wind Hashira and his brother, or the meeting of the demons, and we got faces, but we also got tons of questions. Is that the Upper One in the village? It's probably not, as a demon wouldn't be able to stroll in there, and they have the earrings. Therefore, who are they, and what is their connection to the Upper One? Also, will they show Tanjiro to dance and get him stronger? I'm incredibly excited for the rest of the season, and I hope you all too. Demon Slayer episode 1 of season 3 has officially been disrobed.